Hello people, Tattoo Shop Talk, channel for tattoo enthusiasts, for tattooists and people getting tattoos. We're talking tips, tricks, just random chit-chats that's already all the time happening in tattoo shops, so if that's your kind of thing,
stick around
and subscribe! Good, that was banging intro.
2018.
2018!
What not to do?
What not to do. Why we talking about what not to do? Last year's most popular and useful video you people found was...
by the way, amazing shirt you have.
Oh, whoa.
Oh, this
What's happening? So, as we were saying, last year's most seen, most watched episode was tips and tricks for tattoo beginners.
Also a very good one.
Very good one, I hope, and people find it useful. So now we want to do kind of part 2, but that will be about what to avoid.
Yes.
As a beginner, right? Because that's
kind of golden rules if you don't want to fuck up too bad.
Yeah, just to not mess up big time.
Oh, yeah.
Things to stay away from when you're starting. So what could it be when you start? What you want to do the most?
The thing you want to do is be unique, I think.
And
stand
tattoo.
out, yeah. And you want to tattoo as fast as possible. You don't want to listen all the time, maybe. He's thinking like, I know what I'm doing. I have experience in my mind.
Yeah, so I think one of the things would be is stop practicing on paper and doing too much on the skin. Like it's good to practice on the skin because that's how you learn, and and you have to be thankful for any and every piece of skin you get.
Oh yeah.
But still, don't forget to practice on a paper because that's where
you can't do only one thing. You have to.
You're not that good,
time.
And most of the people who think back of their first works, they're like,
exactly.
No, it could have been better.
Exactly, and also when you think you're good, 5 years ago you think I'm the shit, like I'm doing amazing work, and then 5 years go by, and then you look at old stuff and you think, oh my god, what happened back then? So you always have to keep in mind that you improve all the time, and you have to keep practicing that.
Yeah, you want that action, but you forget the basics. So,
yeah,
if things are not completely messed up, you can always fix that tattoo.
Yeah, exactly.
But if it's done wrong from the basic, if that design is just off,
then you ruin it. Yeah.
Yeah, if you make a rose that looks like cottage.
We talked about if you have good tattoo design but bad execution in the beginning, that can be fixed. But if you have bad design, then it's
bad execution.
Exactly, then that's almost impossible to fix.
Unless it's obviously some damage when it's scarred up or the lines are completely
all over the place.
Yeah.
It's more blurred out than fucking.
Then,
these.
Like you said, being unique. That's again we're talking beginners who's kind of starting and they don't have that major plan and basically if you searched and found this video, then you need it.
This is top tip.
Yeah, if you've been amazing in drawing that specific style and you just want to do that and that's your thing, okay, do it, go for it. If you're just trying to figure out your own unique stuff for sake of doing it because you want to be this snowflake, unique individual.
But also, if you, let's say you're tattooing in one way and it's maybe not correct way, but you're kind of making up excuse for it to look like what it's looking like. Because it's your style, kind of, sketchy lines.
Mostly from what I see, it's used as excuse.
Yeah,
This is my style, but it's fucked up.
Yeah, exactly. If you can't tell apart technique from style, then something's wrong,
There always will be haters who will be just hating on your shit, but there's also often criticism which should be there, and if somebody
constructive criticism.
Yeah, and if it doesn't come from just a boy on internet or a girl, or whatever,
or if your gender is avocado, then you
yeah.
can also comment.
Yeah, but if it's not just some random stuff, but somebody who knows what they're doing and they're giving you a tip, don't get sensitive about it, because
I think people mean it in the best way they can.
Yeah,
most people.
So you learn from it, and just throwing back excuses. This is my style is
it's bad excuse.
You can comment that maybe to be cool on internet, but still listen to what people are saying, because it can be reasonable and it can only benefit you.
So that's a good thing. Keep in mind that
So practice,
also you have to listen
and learn.
Exactly. And it doesn't stop you. You always can learn more. You can always learn from more people, so you don't get advice from same guy, but you ask maybe 10 people.
Yeah. If somebody gives you advice and you try it and you're like, no, that's bullshit, it's not working for me, try it again later.
Yeah. Keep trying.
Because I know many people who tried certain needle or certain machine or certain
And they
technique,
tried one time
and they're like, no, that's bullshit, that
Yeah.
never works. And then 3 years later down the line, they're like, oh,
this is amazing.
this is the shit.
Yeah, exactly. So you have to also, if you out of your comfort zone, you feel like it's going worse than it might actually be, and if you're not comfortable with it, you think, oh, this is shit, but it might not be.
Sometimes that's when you learn.
Yeah. A tip again, like you shouldn't rush into tattooing. You should be patient. You should learn whatever you can about machines, how they work, how to set it up. Also, how to avoid, spreading ink and how the hygiene works and all that.
Yeah.
You need to learn all of that before, and you have to memorize it by mind.
It seems that it's not important because you're focusing on that cool shit.
On the cool stuff, but this is the most important thing. And if you know all the basic stuff, if you know all the theory behind, then you are
it
like
goes
a step ahead. Yeah,
it goes hand in hand.
Exactly.
Like you can be a shit tattooist with good hygiene, but it have to work. It
yeah,
has to be
but
safe.
Also,
and good.
you can have mad skills in tattooing, but you can spread DNA everywhere and like not giving a fuck.
Another thing is the taking piece is too big.
Oh yeah.
I heard that from many people, and I had some sessions where I'm like just like fuck, I'm tired, but I haven't had like some crazy stuff. But I heard from people who just starting, and they're like, because you want that action, and
because you think it's really cool, yeah, and you just want to work, like you really want to tattoo all day if you can,
and then you just
take up like a sleeve session and you tattoo it for 3 months. You think, yeah, I can easily handle it.
Yeah, and you're just physically tired.
Exactly.
Like you can't do nothing about it. It's not like
physically and also mentally, because you've been preparing your design and stenciling issues, and then you have to do all the work and you have to be consistent in the line work from start to finish, and that can be tricky.
Interviewing people and all that, I heard that from many people that they're like, yeah, you get just all excited in the beginning, and then you do that, and then like halfway through it in your head,
and you think I can't do no more, but I have to.
And then you just keep on going, and then next session maybe half of the time you spend fixing what you couldn't pull off previous session and things like that.
So that could be a good tip, like cut down on hours. If you want to do a big tattoo, then maybe do it in like bundles or smaller.
It's good to
fragments.
be outside comfort zone, because then you learn, but not too far.
Yeah.
Like it's like don't buy piece bigger than you can chew.
Yeah, exactly. You shouldn't go all in at once, because you have all the time in the world for it, so you can just take it slowly.
Overdoing stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like if you're not sure about something and you're like, oh, like I'm just gonna dig it in, or just go like 5th time over the same place just to be sure that it's black, maybe don't.
Maybe don't.
If it's underdone, you can
always
go back next. And especially again, if you knew you're learning and maybe that's your friend, or that's some like apprenticeship deal or something like that, so they expect that it might not be perfect, and you can always fix it unless you overdo stuff.
Then
and
you
it's
have a
different
headache.
story. Yeah. Even if it's not like somebody's not scarred for life or something, but it's overworked, so instead of healing it in like you can work on it in 3-4 weeks, it will be like in 2 months.
It can be annoyed for a while, and also you can do more pain to people, and experience is not
like,
fun for anybody.
that apprentice is cheap but painful as hell.
Painful, yeah. Take your time, do it right. If you're not feeling comfortable, do less.
Yeah, also like it's easy to say, but like maybe don't focus on like money in the thing, because like obviously you want to make money with it, and you want to like maybe buy next cool machine, or you just have bills to pay. But if you think about money, you can run into all the problems just mentioned. You want to work faster, you want to do pieces
You
bigger.
want to do bigger, and
You might do styles or sizes that you can't pull off.
yeah, because you think because you've been tattooing for a couple of years, then you can do all styles because it's just
Yeah.
tattooing.
It's just
And then
shading.
then you get into it and you think like, oh man, I'm doing way more than I can handle.
Also, we had this poor creature commenting that was bad boss example, or really believing in a apprentice, but somebody booked in like a full realistic sleeve, and the boss man was like, you have to do it.
The bossman was all like, yeah, you can do it easy, and the guy,
the apprentice was like, that's not my stuff. So obviously if you work in a place, you kind of like, you have to do what they tell you because you're apprentice. But in that situation, apprentice
you should
was
still be
responsible
able, yeah.
and like didn't want to do stuff. Or maybe
Because that's the thing also, like we can talk about, top tip is being responsible.
Yeah.
If you think you can do it, don't do it.
Or at least like if it's the situation where you can like explain that I'm not comfortable with, but
Yeah,
like
maybe
I feel
I've
like
not done it so many times, so I'll do it lightly, and then we can see, because you can always add to it. You can't take it away. So
obviously sometimes it's the situation when people are just not feeling ready, and maybe that boss is like pushing like you can do it, but that didn't seem like the situation.
No, this was not a good example of that.
Yeah, but don't focus on the wrong reasons, like like if you're focusing on the money and stuff like that, it can backfire.
It can, and also I think the people making a lot of money in tattooing, because they're really good, they've been spending like whole life on making art and all that stuff, and people going into the business because they want to make money, they usually don't do it, maybe for a while, but they won't keep that income going.
But there's always a reason. Like maybe the person made a style and they're unique and they worked on it for years, so they have some artistic background. But if you just want to jump into it like, this will be my style and I'll do that, like it's most likely already done, and all you will do, you will mess up all your friends' skin, and that's it. So that's the money thing, and that also goes maybe on a gear thing. Don't cheap out, and don't think that if you get the most expensive stuff, you will suddenly
don't turn
magic.
don't turn into champion by having expensive machines.
It's like shoes, like you can run in flip-flops, but that's not really a good idea, so don't buy the cheapest machine.
You don't turn into Olympic sprinter if you buy the
you can't outrun or run on the same level as Usain Bolt if you get the same shoes like the guy. So don't expect that gear will do magic, but don't also buy the cheapest one because you just don't have the money or something. Cut down on these.
I would also say yes, maybe use a month more to get a bit more money to buy good quality machine instead of just buying any machine.
And it goes with the rest of supplies, like
the beer,
the creative juices.
Oh yeah.
Gear is connected, because like I remember in the beginning I got some cheap pedal and it worked, but it annoyed the crap out of me because I have to focus, like it's not happening naturally. So I have to focus, stretch a skin, to look at line, and to get that machine on there, also to focus on that pedal, and sometimes it just doesn't work because like you have to press on it like in a specific way. So like you don't want to have the cheapest one because that will just annoy you.
Exactly.
But also if you buy
that doesn't mean that if you buy the most expensive pedal it will be good. You have to try.
You can suddenly pull a line because you have a pedal, but like it has to be okay.
Yeah. I would also say if you're in like the middle of price range, then you kind of alright.
I also know people who do amazing work with some cheap machines, but like it's a skill. Like, it's nothing to do with
machine or anything. Right?
Yeah.
You can be lucky.
Obviously, you have to put your work out there and all that, but sometimes people go just too much on advertising, and there's many jokes about that now, about my books are closed and all that stuff, and focusing on appearance and like, I got the looks, so I must be the shit,
If you get a rose.
Yeah, you get a rose on your chin and you're suddenly the master artist, and your works doesn't prove that. That's another thing, but It just looks like it. People just get the appearance first, and then they're like, "I have the look."
Yeah, they more focused on how they look and how their like lifestyle is. You
Yeah,
know, all the amazing tattoo lifestyle.
You have the amazing machine, the iPad Pro, the
yeah, and
fucking
you eat all hipster
discovered.
food.
Yeah. You have your cup of coffee every morning.
Special
organic cigarette,
you know.
something. Oh yeah, let's create something.
Exactly, and you have to have like artistic breaks every 5 minutes because you need to.
You're such an artistic
improve.
creature,
Yeah.
and you need your space. And all that shit. Yeah, there was, about the looks I heard from people. It's the tattoo shop, and there's also piercings in the shop. Basically, the story is a person asks a tattooist, and they're like, yeah, oh, this is cool what you guys doing here, like, and I know that tattooing is hard, but maybe I can like get in as a piercer because I have the looks, I have the image, so I can like. It's like this is not how you think about things, like, you know. It's
all the wrong reasons.
like I want to sneak in the shop because it's cool. Like tattoos are too hard. I might start with piercing. I was like piercings.
It's also pretty.
I also know some people who sneaked into tattooing through the piercing because they're like, well, I just poke holes and then suddenly like, look, I'm practicing and shit.
Kind of in the area, you know,
in the
like,
area. If you work as a manager of the shop, you tell everyone like, "Oh, I work in a tattoo shop."
Yeah.
Oh, you tattooing, and then you're like,
yeah. Well, not really.
Kind of like
making coffee, but yeah.
I'm sort of around that. I'm starting, so
I'm helping all I can.
Getting in there for the wrong reasons.
Also, a lot of managers, they at one point try tattooing. I've heard it a bunch of times that they start off like young and they just want a job in a cool place, and then all of a sudden they get kind of maybe bored or something, and then they think, I can also do that tattooing, it looks super easy.
Oh, it's also like seems like an easy money.
Exactly.
From like before you started, it seems like it's just whatever.
You can just do something and it's alright.
I'm printing out designs all day long, so like,
exactly. So you can, you know, do a bit extra and all that, all is good. But
I'm one of them people. But I was kind of pushed into tattooing by tattooists.
You didn't want to.
They were like, dude, you know too much about that shit. You have to start to do it.
You should be.
You should be master a piercer.
No tattoo.
Like, no, that's not serious. It is. I can prove it. Yeah, so getting in for wrong reasons. Think about it.
Good tip.
Especially in countries with like kind of good economics, people just like can just figure out and like, oh, this is cool shit, I'll start to do it. And you can open your shop and be the shit tattooist, and you have enough friends who's like,
whatever,
yeah, they press likes on your Instagram pictures and you think you're the shit, and every time somebody tells you that constructive criticism, you're like,
then you just think, oh, that's an idiot, he doesn't know anything.
That's a hater.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to reply on it or react, but maybe you have to think and compare stuff and see like maybe there's a way to improve. Unless you are like a for sure like god of tattooing, there's always somewhere to go, there's always something to improve, and there's always
something to learn.
Yeah, there's
and
not
also,
like
always
you
people to talk to, like always something.
Like you can be comfortable in what you're doing or in your style, but that's
also a tip, not to get too comfortable in what you're doing. Like if you only do, like we talked about, your style, like if you do old school and you only do
or any style,
one thing you're doing, then you get too comfortable, you start relaxing too much, and that shows in work also. Like you have to push yourself all the time.
Yeah, and as for examples, I know people who've been doing like new school.
Yeah.
People who do new school and they're really good at it, and like they stuff is amazing, and they like steady and comfortable, but then they like start to travel around and see other, and that's like we're talking like 5 years, 7 years into tattooing, and they start to travel around and they talk with other people, and then they decide to try things again, and they decide like different needles or something, add different techniques, and they're like, oh, like shit, this stuff actually works better, or like they change their style a bit, and suddenly like you probably seen when people go from this super soft shaded realism and then they just add more blacks or more contrast, or they put some lines somewhere after a while, and it's like just looks like complete different story. So don't get too comfortable, I would say.
Exactly.
Like,
also, yeah, if you've been tattooing for a while, then you know tattoo will be good, so you can experiment, you know.
Yeah. Like
Also creates something good.
yeah, like don't get too comfortable. It's meant in like a positive way. Just
Yeah.
try new things. Like again, get out of the comfort zone.
Just also for your own sake, so you don't get, bored with what you're doing. If you think, oh, it's just the same thing I'm doing every day, nothing exciting happening, then you can change it up.
Yeah,
You can
change
go
that.
travel. Well, also if you get too comfortable in a shop, you work there, let's say 5 years maybe, you talk to the same 2 people or whatever for a long time, and they stop criticizing your work because you're all like too familiar or whatever, then it's good to meet new people. They can have a new view on your things. You can also, if you look up to people and they tell you stuff, you want to impress them and stuff like that. So that's also very helpful for your work.
Yeah,
And
it's a healthy competition.
it is. Yeah, you wanna beat people,
Yeah,
in
like
a good way. It's like great competition.
from artists though that guest spotting also like improves a lot. Since this is for beginners, it's still like talk to other tattooists.
Yeah, because
like,
it would
see.
be too much to travel around if you're just starting.
Yeah, but-
you could do it locally in
Yeah, you can-
different tattoo shops in the city, maybe.
Or like maybe there's other friends who's doing tattooing, but also like even booking a session with some guy. And
That's
like,
also
like,
helpful.
oh, like,
Then you can see how they doing. You can ask stuff. If when you're sitting with a tattooer in the chair, you can ask specific.
and
about
there's no
things.
way you can get closer to that to just
Exactly.
seeing. So don't be shy and look for like.
So
look
also,
for
there's
stuff.
there's no stupid questions.
Well, there are, but
if you
if you explain why, like
Yeah, exactly. Like if you can tell, like I don't understand how you do this, or like how can you get so smooth shading? Maybe like they want to tell you. I think.
So don't be shy to ask. Don't get too comfortable. Don't be a dick.
Don't get too greedy.
Yeah, don't get greedy.
The money will come. You don't have to chase them down.
And don't forget to learn like
Good.
basic hygiene, the drawing.
You want to be the best in everything. So you also want to be the best in hygiene.
Also customer service.
Oh,
like
yeah.
you're
Oh,
working
yeah.
with people. Like when you're tattooing your friends, you can be a little bit of schlong with them.
But yeah, you're working with people on a daily basis.
Often many people say like he's okay tattooist, like, but like it's really good experience to go to that place. And like that's what I hear from tattooists. They're like, yeah, like because they can see the work and like kind of criticize it, and they're like, yeah, he's doing his style, maybe he's not that good in something else. He's a cool person, like, that's also like, because tattoo is artwork, that's one thing, but that's also experience. And like
Oh,
you
yeah.
don't want to go to tattooist which you're like, you finished your tattoo, you're like, okay, this portrait is nice, but I hate that guy now. Like,
Exactly. It should
So
be. It should be fun all around.
you don't want to be that guy who people hate after a session, unless the customer is the kind of princess who will hate
anyone.
everything and everyone.
Well, yeah. Well, that's not your fault.
Be reasonable, be humble, learn,
Be humble is a very good advice.
and practice all you can. When you're practicing on the skin, don't exaggerate. And when you're learning, it's mostly your friends or it's like apprenticeship deals and all that. So let them know what to expect. Don't kind of undervalue yourself.
Yeah, and if you're trying new things, don't do like that massive piece. Don't do a back piece. Try a small one so you can get the feeling. Also, it's easier to see it when it heals and all.
And
that
also
stuff.
plan out.
Yeah.
Like if you plan out the stuff and you're like, okay, let's stencil it, and you tattoo it and you're like, oh fuck, I'm too tired. Like you can always plan it out the way that you can stick that part of stencil
Oh,
or
yeah.
something like. So that's where all that composition and all that stuff comes in handy. So you know where to start, and then you basically plan your piece. And also don't focus on that thing what you're doing now. Because you can be like, oh, I just want to do this piece, and person is like, I want it here, like, yeah, let's throw it there. And then you're like, they come in for maybe next or third or fifth piece, and you're like, oh
shit, this is
I
no way.
did that thing and wasn't thinking about future. So plan the things out so the tattoos you're doing now are not in a way of something in
Later
the future.
and yeah.
And also it's now very, very common with those mini Pinterest tattoos when people just want something and they want it in the very middle. So like maybe think about future, move it to the side, move it.
And that's
somewhere.
also a thing you need to know different personalities and people. If you can see on a young girl that she wants like a simple stuff here, you shouldn't expect her to get a sleeve, so maybe that's all right. You know, you have to
but it's,
to learn about people as well. Like
don't forget
how
to
they are.
explain stuff. And like you don't have to push people, but you're as a professional, you have to explain also the upside down stuff
Exactly.
and all that. It's like
I know it's for you, but
yeah, like think about what can, and once you explain, then they fine with it. It's kind of up to them, and like obviously you can always say no. You also don't have to be a penis about it.
don't be a penis.
Don't be a penis.
That's the main rule.
Unless you're a good one. Don't forget to use Google. Because there's so much information out there, and that applies for like very beginnings, and that's where you can avoid many stupid questions. Especially if you're looking for a place where to learn. I have a great video of the 2 apprenticeship search don'ts somewhere. Ding pong pam. Like that thing when you get some people just so unprepared coming in, throwing on the table they like 3 or 5 drawings, and they're like,
now,
so I decided I want to be tattooist, and you have to be sort of thankful that they came in.
that they came with 4 drawings.
Yeah, there's so much information how to look for apprenticeship, how to get into tattooing and all that. So that would be helpful. That like don't forget to do a little research.
Yeah, but that's also the thing. You shouldn't rush into things. Like if you wanna get an apprenticeship, maybe get some tattoos first. You know, go to a place you like, get a couple tattoos from the guys, get to know them, and then you can ask them like, what would it take to be apprentice in this place, or like how should I approach it, or you have
Also,
any
often
tips and tricks for me?
Also, like good customers are more chance to be apprentice than just somebody who comes in and like, I'm here.
I know a couple of guys actually getting apprenticeship because they got tattooed a lot and they like the people. That's also important thing. You have to click with people, have good experiences together, you know.
And now it's those school things. I don't know about them. I know that there's a fuss about them, and people like tattooists are against them and all that. So like they're like boycott them and all that. But clearly tattooing is so cool now that like there's so many people who want to do it. There's a chance of getting shit apprenticeship or getting no apprenticeship. So that's why there's those schools. I don't know if they're good or bad, but in my imagination, if that would be a good school, so maybe by some good tattooists, that would be alright idea. But probably they're not. That's why there's all that.
That's why they're doing that.
Yeah. So
situation.
like, I'm not saying don't go to those schools, but make sure that you do your research. Like,
yeah, but it seems
like it always
hyped, you know.
Yeah, and it always seems sketchy because I see it the same as modeling schools. Like you can go to modeling school, you get your diploma, and then you're upset that like no agency is taking you because you finished the course. It doesn't guarantee you a skill. So that's the thing with those schools. It's like I say, I don't know. So like from what tattooists say,
it could be good. It could also not be good. So you have to keep that in mind.
Yeah. So like
it doesn't guarantee anything.
It doesn't guarantee. So be careful with that stuff.
Also, I think tattoo schools you learn.
They shouldn't harm you. They can teach you if it's good, how to set up things, what's their hygiene, what's the theory behind it.
Yeah, I don't think they harm you in any way. Like what you learn there.
Apart financially.
Well, yeah, but you know, they don't. I don't think they teach you wrong.
Now you can find all that stuff on YouTube. What's the cross contamination?
Again, there's so much stuff out there.
Yeah, don't forget to use Google and YouTube. It don't have to be just tattoo videos, because you can see all those doctor kind of stuff about touching stuff, wearing gloves, how to wear them, how to wash your hands, how to clean skin and all that stuff. So there's a lot of information. If you don't do research on basics, it's again goes back to being a dick or being lazy. Do research because you want to learn it proper way. Because there's also a lot of places offering apprenticeships, and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna get to tattoo, and then you just like.
But they might be.
You might
sketchy place.
They might look for somebody just to clean toilets, and you will never get even close to tattooing.
Yeah, and you spend 6 months cleaning toilets and making coffee, and nothing happened.
And you're not ready to just see how tattoos are done. Or there's those super commercial places where you get in, you show them their drawings, they're like, okay. Let's do it like a minimum charge for all day session. Our apprentice will do whatever you want.
Whatever you want all day. And you just fuck around.
Yeah.
Without knowing anything.
And also you have to see who else is working there, because potentially you want to be at least like that guy who works there. But if you're like, oh, they all people are shit. My drawing is amazing.
It's
I'll be
better."
better than them. You probably won't. Like,
Exactly.
Then it's just start your kitchen operation and
Yeah,
and
you should
mess
know
stuff
what
up.
you're going for, tattoo wise. Like technical wise, you should know what you're aiming for, what's good tattoo, what's bad tattoo, and you should be able to tell apart like a tattooer. You know, maybe he's not the best, maybe he's alright. You have to look, and if it doesn't seem right for you, it's not the right place.
Look up your local shops or any shops and compare and try to
Just
see
go
the
through
difference.
them, yeah, and then
see,
you can
like,
see it. You know what you like, what you don't like.
First of all, there's different styles, and when you see same styles, compare what's
Yeah, if you
different
see
about
similar
them and what's
Things, yeah.
what you like or don't like about certain stuff. So then you can filter out what to aim for, and that's also how you choose. Even when you get the
Just when you get a tattoo, yeah.
filter information, just compare. Question to you people: if you are tattooist, let us know what you heard of tattoo beginners' biggest mistakes.
Maybe if you are apprentice,
What's
you
the
heard something funny.
what you heard, or maybe you experienced some bad shit. And if you're just an enthusiast or customer, go wild. Tell us stories.